gracious enough to let me take over, dragged me along out here for about 18 years, trying to get me to a point where I'd be ready for this position. I'm only out here because of him. I was literally at Michigan State in the fall of 2002, and I asked my advisor, I said, I'd like to go out west for an internship. I've never been. And he said, I know the guy in Jackson Hole. And so I ended up out here spring of '03, and kind of did every job out here from then until now. And I was his assistant for 12 years. All those stories about Luke and Sid and Sam. There was lots of time with these people. And, you know, from being a stereotypical college kid coming out here in '03 to, you know, having my family out here, hiding in the back. I owe a lot to him for teaching me a lot.
So Luke, I have a question.
Yeah.
You just heard that Michigan State Turf Management, we're 0 for 2 so far. Are you sure you want to do that?
I'm not totally sold on it yet.
There's always Rutgers in New Jersey. They got a good trip there.
It's funny, when I got my first big job as a director of a big business, the guy who I took over from, still a friend of mine, but he retired on May 31st and walked out the door. And for 3 months, it was one of those things with you two, it was like, he hasn't called once to ask about the business. And so I can't call him because apparently he doesn't want to be involved anymore. And we're sitting about 3 months later talking, he says, well, why didn't you ever call me? Why didn't you call me?
Well, I gotta say, Mike and I spent quite a few hours in his office over the last 4 or 5 months, kind of just talking through all sorts of different situations and what do you think about this? Why do you think they did that? I mean, it was like a psychology lesson too. Of, you know, when you talked about personnel management, you know, we were definitely going over everyone and thinking, wow, I wonder if we did it this way or that way. So we put in a lot of time kind of going over things that were happening and things like that. And I got to thank Mike as well for everything he's done for me here at the club. I mean, I was the membership director, and I mean, I knew how to sell those memberships, and I knew how to make a spreadsheet, and I mean,
Yes,
he
you
gave
do.
me a
Yes,
couple-
Anybody needs a spreadsheet, come to this moment right here.
But you know, I don't think I know I didn't understand the intricacies and just all that goes into the human relationships that are so necessary in
Correct.
this business. And Mike, you know, definitely opened my eyes to those and gave me a lot of wise advice, kind of steered me in the right direction and got that mirror out for me. And I have one on my desk now. I'm just keeping it there. You know,
What does that mean?
it means that when you're hearing something from somebody, that you should probably like look in the mirror, or if you're trying to tell somebody something, you should look in the mirror and make sure that
That's
you
good.
reflect that too,
That's
right?
good
Like you
advice.
can't just
Nice.
tell
Right.
people the
Yeah.
way they should be.
Yeah.
You need to be that way as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know, there was some people around the club that maybe never looked in the mirror in their life, but you know, we tried not to be those people, I think,
right.
and that was one of our main goals.
It was never anything I could have done differently, right?
Right, no.
It's their fault.
Yeah, it's always, yeah.
Right. All those other people did it wrong, not me. But you know, thank you so much, and thank you for listening and giving me opportunity. And you know, John and the executive committee too. I mean, what a great organization that listens to all their employees and really gives them the opportunity to contribute to the direction of the business, because you don't get much better satisfaction than that. And thank you.
You're here.
Cheers.
Cheers.